Hey there, folks. A lot of people are out for a march today, and you may not have gone to a march before, so I just wanted to tell you a few things that I would bring to a march if I was going. First off, you might want something for your self defense, whether it's, something very kinetic and constitutionally protected and driven, or something a little bit less offensive that could be a spray or a mist, or it might be electric based. It might deliver a certain amount of electricity to a person that is being offensive towards you, but you might want some self defense. In the bucket of self defense, you're going to want something like a gas mask because there could be ir- chemical irritants or crowd dispersing mists that you could encounter. So you're going to want a gas mask, something better than just a paper mask, you know, charcoal cartridge masks, if you will, that filter out harmful vapors. You're probably going to want something to protect your hearing because you could encounter loud percussions or even, detonations. So having earplugs is one thing, but you might want to have a next level set of ear protection if you really want to keep your hearing safe. In the bucket of self defense, you could also consider something like a helmet or goggles. You want something that's shatter resistant. And if you're going to use goggles or a helmet, make sure you try it on with your gas mask so that you can easily wear all three together. I consider clothing part of self defense, so you always want to wear comfortable shoes, but also shoes that you're willing to let go of because if they have images of your shoes, and they will, then you can be easily identified in public by the shoes that you're wearing. The same thing with your clothing. If you're going on a march today, I highly recommend wearing both clothing and shoes that you're willing to let go of, and after the march, as soon as you are at a safe distance, discard your clothes, discard your shoes, either burn them, shred them, or throw them away in separate areas. Hopefully you don't need it, but you'll be glad if you have first aid. Even if it's just a band-aid and neosporin to put on a blister, which you might get if you go for a long walk, first aid is vital. You also will want something like saline solution in a bottle in case you have to wash an irritant from your eyes. Also consider chemical wipes that are useful for wiping irritants off of your skin. More advanced first aid would be something like a suction patch or Israeli bandages that are useful for treating kinetic injuries. You're going to need to stay hydrated. Drink a lot of water ahead of time if you're going on a march today, but also have bottles or bladders of water in your pack. You don't want to get dehydrated while you're out there. You could become dizzy, suffer heat stroke, or just, harm your wellness by getting dehydrated. So bring water, bring lots of water. Bring in electrolyte packs, whether it's whichever one is your favorite, so that you have something that you can drink that's not water, that's going to get you hydration, salts, and sugars in case you do get, well, before you get to that point where you're dehydrated. You're also going to want high protein snacks that you can easily open and eat, whether it's some sort of a protein bar or a pack of tuna or spam, which you can get in individual serving sizes that you just easily tear open and eat. You're going to want to have something that you can easily carry and eat, whether it's trail mix or, even put shake mix so that you can add that to your water or whatever so that you have extra protein. Again, you want to stay hydrated and well nourished if you're going out for a long walk. Definitely have shade. I mean, we all know it's sunny out there, but if you're someone who spends a lot of time sitting inside, you know, like most of society, then you might not be used to the sun. So you're probably going to want to have sunscreen and also a shade hat, potentially an umbrella, so that you can really block the sun from taking too much of a toll on you while you're out on your walk. And this is something that will make a big difference in your day if you end up needing it. Bring sandals or a secondary pair of shoes so that if you begin to develop a blister from walking too much, you can swap out for a different pair of shoes. Bring a second pair of socks so that you can swap out your socks if you get too sweaty inside of your shoes. It's a small thing, but it can make a big difference in the long run. You're also going to want to have an emergency contact while you're out on your walk in case you get lost. This is a person who isn't out on a walk also. They're at home and they're going to be willing to make phone calls, contact a lawyer, contact a representative, let your family and boss know that you have become lost. A good way to do this is to call them regularly, but also have a set check-in time that if you do not check in, they begin to search for you, checking whether it's at a hospital or a detention center and call for your release. I can't emphasize this enough. Having people on the outside, if you end up on the inside, is a big deal. So make sure that you have an emergency contact who knows when you're meant to check in, who knows where you're at, because you don't want to just vanish. As far as electronic devices go, a lot of people are saying leave them at home, but for me, I feel a sense of security when I have my electronic device with me. Since I don't commit any crimes or intend on committing any crimes, it's not a big deal for me to carry a recording device or record my actions because I know that what I'm up to is perfectly fine and legal. If you make a recording of yourself ahead of time, leaving for your walk, speaking about your intentions and declaring that you have neither any weapons nor violent intentions, then and then it could make a big difference if you do end up getting lost at a later point, having documented clearly what your plans were and letting people know if you do have any items, what their intended purpose. If you made it this far through the video, you're at the 8-minute mark, and I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to what I have to say. I do have channels on many platforms. I do have links if you're trying to find other ways that you can interact with some of my teachings on direct action and mutual aid. I have plenty of thoughts and ideas that I've posted about it in videos across multiple platforms. Again, if you're going for a walk, just to sum up, very important to have self-defense, first aid, water, protein, shade, a change of clothes, including a change of shoes. Um, Definitely have a plan for arriving and when you're leaving so that you can arrive and depart in a safe way. It really is a much longer video than 10 minutes, but I appreciate you guys taking the time to tune in, and I'll talk to you again very soon.